Yesterday, we took a look at how animals and plants survive in desert and temperate climates. Today, we're going to take a look at how plants and animals survive in tropical and polar climates, okay? So we're gonna look at two different climates today, and we're gonna see how the animals survive. I want to remind you that your goal is to see how the animals survive in that region, not what animals live there, okay? Kindergartners can tell me polar bears live in the Arctic, all right? You're not kindergartners. I'm looking for how do these animals survive? What is it about the weather and the temperature and the landforms that helps them survive, okay? So we're not just naming animals. That's kindergarten work. We're talking about their survival, okay? So here is your goal for our reading lesson.
Today's learning target is 3.3.9. We're going to, again, describe how climate and the physical characteristics of a region affect the vegetation or plant life and animal life that lives in that region. Yesterday, we explored the desert region and the temperate region. Today, we're going to dive deeper into life in the tropical region and life in the polar or Arctic zone.
Okay, so how does the climate and physical characteristics affect their life? Okay, how does it help them survive? So I am going to ask you, if you would please, to go to Seesaw, click on that activities bulb to refresh. Oh my goodness, someone already turned this in. Hold on, sis, I'm gonna send that back to you. There you go.
An accident I did. I thought it was another assignment.
I gotcha, there you go. Alrighty, so we're gonna go to activities, animals of the tropical and polar regions. This is gonna work the same way it did yesterday. We're gonna do one section together, and that's going to be the tropical region. I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms to complete the polar region together. Independently, you're going to list the animals and plants and tell me how they survive, okay? What is it about that environment that works for them, okay? So you should have clicked add response by now. And here we go. With your teacher, read and discuss the text. Don't forget to study text features for additional information. And then we will watch the Brain Pop Junior video. We will stop, we will discuss, and we will type our answers to the questions together, okay? Let's go ahead on to slide 2. Grab that highlighter, set it in your favorite color. I like writing in my favorite color. It makes me feel more interested in my work. All right. I'm going to take a look at our screens here, make sure we're all set and ready. Go into slide 2. Alrighty, here we go. We are going to read our text. We are going to highlight information that connects to our goal. So we're going to highlight ways that plants and animals survive in these climate regions, okay? So let's take a look. We will highlight as we read. The tropical life. Trees in tropical rainforests grow tall. Their branches and leaves stretch out to form a canopy or cover over the forest. When a dead tree falls, it lets in sunlight. Then a new tree can grow. So we know that we must have sunlight inside of tropical climates in order for new trees to grow, because new trees can't grow on the bottom if all of the trees are covering up the sun. So one of the things we learned is that in a tropical climate, a tree has to die so that a new tree can get sunlight and grow up. That's interesting. We don't really have that problem in temperate climates like Indiana because there's not enough trees to cover up the whole ground. But in rainforests, there are. In tropical climates, there are. So let's highlight that together. All right. The canopy is also home to many animals. Colorful birds fill the trees. Monkeys swing from high branches. What let's highlight this about colorful birds. Why do we think that birds are colorful inside of tropical rainforests and tropical climates? What do we know about those climates, Christopher? Why are birds colorful there?
They're colorful in tropical climates because they can grow a lot of birds in that climate type because there's a lot of food, a lot of space for some birds to live inside trees, like that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of types. That's why there's a lot of types of birds.
Yeah, so this environment is very good for birds. There's tons of trees everywhere for them to make their nests. There's tons of food for them to live in. So we see a lot of different kinds of birds because it's so easy for them to survive there. What about their color? Why do we think that they're colorful? William?
They might be poisonous.
There could be some of that. I have not heard of a poisonous bird, but I wonder if there are. So that colorfulness, though, as William has said, makes people think of poison. So other animals that live in the rainforest that might want to eat those birds might see that color and say, ooh, food isn't supposed to be lime green. Food isn't supposed to be red and yellow. And they might think that, okay? Also, take a look at these photographs here, okay? Those are very bright colors. So tropical birds can kind of get their coloration by what they live around and what's going to help them survive, right? If there was a black bird like sitting right here in the grass, look, oops, that's the highlighter. If there's a black bird sitting right here in the grass, boom, that bird is going to stand out because that grass is green. But if there's a green bird sitting in the grass, well, now it's going to stand out a little bit less because it blends in, okay? So there's lots of colors in tropical rainforests, so those birds can have that coloration to help them survive and also to warn off predators. Great. Leah, something to add?
It's kind of like a flamingo because flamingos are actually white, but they eat something to turn pink.
They do. So flamingos eat a lot of shrimp, and the coloration of that shrimp is what changes their colors of their feathers. If they don't have a good diet, flamingos are normally white or gray. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's take a look here. Monkeys swing from high branches. Why are monkeys found in tropical climates? What is it about the tropical climate that makes it a good home for a monkey? Levin? Can't hear you, bro.
Now?
Yep.
So, because the reason why because they survive in there, they can find their food high in the trees, and they have long legs and arms.
Yeah.
To swing.
Right. So that monkey is built for life in the trees. Okay. So if we took a monkey and put them in a polar climate where there's no trees and there's slippery ice, is a monkey with super long legs and arms going to do well? No. Okay. Right. So here, this climate, the vegetation of this climate is helping it survive. Awesome. Let's keep going. Some people live in rainforests. They hunt and fish rainforest animals. They eat fruits and nuts from rainforest plants. Some people grow their own food. Houses in tropical places are sometimes built on stilts. This keeps water from flooding the homes. Stilts also let breezes flow under the houses to cool them. That's pretty cool. And then we see down here, this is a photograph of that information. And we have a caption that says a house on stilts in the Amazon rainforest. So when it rains a lot and that water level rises, it's not going to flood this house because they've got several feet of stilts there. Pretty smart. Okay. All right. So now, oh, yes, Levin?
If you can see, they have a boat right there in case it does get up there and they can float away.
Nice job using your text features. There is a boat there. It might be so they could get away. It might also be because it doesn't look like there's a lot of roads here. So maybe they travel by water. So instead of getting in a car, they might get in their boat and get to where they need to go. Awesome. 11. Terrence, your hand is up. Was that from earlier? Did you have something to say?
That was from earlier.
Gotcha. There we go.
I don't have a question.
Thank you. William, what about you, bud? Hand is up. Do you have something to say?
Well, I was gonna say about the boat.
Gotcha. You noticed it as well? All right. Okay. On slide 3, there is a video. I'm going to play the video. I have it blocked for you because you don't need to play it while I'm playing it. And we are going to read the questions, watch the video, and pause the video to type the answers when we hear them. Then we'll play the video and listen for the next question and answer, and we'll repeat until we're done. Okay? You have 3 questions that you're answering today. First question, what is a rainforest? As Steve pointed out to us yesterday, actually Justin did too. Hopefully you know what a rainforest is by now, but we're going to review. What are some layers of the rainforest? We're going to learn about that. And how do plants and animals survive in the rainforest? Okay, first thing we're listening for is what is a rainforest? Here we go.
Habitats. Rainforests. Hey, Moby. Where are you going? Moby? Cool. A rainforest. What is a rainforest?
Listen up.
A rainforest is a large, thick forest habitat that gets a ton of rain. Some rainforests can get over 200 inches of rain a year. Rainforests can be in cool areas, but most rainforests are tropical and found in warm, humid places near the equator. The Amazon tropical rainforest is the largest in the world. It spreads through 9 countries in South America. Even though rainforests cover just a small part of our planet, over half the world's species of plants and animals live there. Squirrel monkeys are just one species of monkey that live in rainforests. But there are other species too, like capuchin monkeys and howler monkeys. We can divide the rainforest into different sections. What are some layers of the rainforest?
All right, that'll be our next question. Let's get ready for this first question that we had here. Oops, there we go. What is a rainforest? We heard Annie explain that a rainforest is a large, thick forest that gets a ton of rain. So a rainforest is a large, thick forest that gets a ton of rain. And that's a very basic definition of it, but it is one that helps us review and remember. Yes, Aiden Hampton.
Do we have to capitalize ton?
You do not have to. I just like to put emphasis on it because she was like, a ton of rain. So that's why I do it. Miss Camille, we are typing on slide 3 right now. You are still at slide 2, sis. All right. Next question was just asked, and that question was, what are some layers of the rainforest? What are some layers of the rainforest? Okay, so layers we know are things that are stacked on top of each other. You might think of a lasagna, has a layer of pasta, then a layer of sauce, then a layer of cheese, then a layer of pasta, or a cake has a layer of cake, and then icing, and then cake, and then icing. So it's going to be stacked on top of each other. So what are some layers of the rainforest? We're going to listen up.
The canopy is the roof of the forest, and that's where you find the thick, leafy tops of trees. There's plenty of sunshine and food up here. Most rainforest animals live in the canopy. Like monkeys, sloths, and birds. The understory is the layer between the canopy and the floor. Less sunshine reaches the understory, so many plants have large leaves to get as much light as they can. Here you can find a lot of insects, snakes, and even jaguars. The forest floor is the bottom of the rainforest. It doesn't get much sunlight, so fewer plants grow here. But you can still find lizards, insects, and fungi. How do plants and animals survive in rainforests?
All right, that's our next question. So we just heard about 3 different layers. Our first layer is all the way up top above the trees, and that is called the canopy. Okay, that's where there's tons of sunshine and tons of food, because food grows where there is sunshine. And then animals go where the food is, so there's animal food there as well. Okay, so we've got the canopy. Then we went to the understory. That's the in-between. So this is where we're going to see a lot of, the canopy is where we're going to see a lot of birds. The understory is where we're going to see a lot of climbing animals. And then we have the forest floor. And that forest floor is going to be where we see a lot of walking type animals. Okay, so let's go ahead and write these down. What are some layers of the rainforest? I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that I can type in layers. The first thing at the very top is the canopy, and that is the top of trees. Okay, the canopy is the top of the trees. I'm going to put these in order of the order that we would see if we went there. It's the canopy, which is the top of the trees. Then we have the understory. And the understory is kind of where the trunks of the trees are. So I like to put trunks of trees. And that's where we see a lot of climbing animals, snakes that climb on vines, monkeys that swing from branches, lizards that might be climbing up and down to get their food and go down to their ground burrows. We're going to see a lot of climbing animals in that area. Okay, so the canopy and the understory. And then I don't want to make this too little that I can't see. So I am actually going to add a third text box over here that is going to add information about the forest floor. And the forest floor is the ground. So the rainforest, or the tropical climate, is going to have a lot of animals that can survive in very different ways. Okay, a bird would survive great in the canopy. A bird would not survive on the forest floor. It doesn't have anywhere to fly to get away from predators or to fly to look for food. Okay, a jaguar would survive on the forest floor because it can walk and maybe climb some trees to get food and to hunt, but it would die in the canopy because it doesn't have anywhere to walk. It would fall down. Okay, so lots of different animals can survive in different areas of the rainforest, which is why we see so many different kinds of animals there, because there's 3 habitats inside of that rainforest. There's the forest floor, the understory, and the canopies. Okay. All right. Aiden Hampton, something to add about the lesson?
Something about the lesson is just that I have to draft the assignment that we're doing right now, because there is a you know how you get a text box and there is a little line across it that's going down. That I'm on another text box and it's still right there.
Okay, you can just add it. You can just add another text box. You don't have to draft and get out. Terrence, something to add about the lesson? Nope. Okay. How do plants and animals survive in the rainforest? That's what we're going to take a look at next. Annie has asked that question. Here comes the answer.
It doesn't get much sunlight, so fewer.
I forgot I rewound. 1 second, please. There we go.
How do plants and animals survive in rainforests? Living things have adaptations, or special ways to live in their habitats. Well, rainforest soil does not have a lot of nutrients, so it can be difficult for plants to grow there. Some plants, like this pitcher plant, use animals for food. Since the forest floor can be pretty dark, some plants have adapted to grow on tall trees so they can get more sunlight. They're nicknamed air plants because they don't need soil to grow.
You guys hear that? So plants have adapted by eating animals. They don't need sunlight, they need animals. And then also by growing without soil. They can grow on a tree. That's crazy.
Since the rainforest gets a ton of rain, the leaves of many plants have special tips to help get rid of extra water. Cool! That butterfly has clear wings. That camouflage helps it hide from other animals. But some rainforest animals don't use camouflage at all. The poison dart frog has bright colors, warning predators not to eat it.
There you go, William. You're on to something.
It's one of the most poisonous animals on the planet. Rainforest animals have different ways to stay safe. The huatzin is often called the stink bird because it smells really bad. Tons of plants and animals live in the rainforest, and experts think there are millions more that haven't been discovered. How are rainforests changing?
All right, so let's go take a look at our answer there for how do plants and animals survive in the rainforest, okay? We just learned about adaptations, okay? Plants and animals adapt their bodies and parts, okay? Plants and animals adapt their bodies and parts. Today on your independent work, you are going to be asked to give examples of some of those adaptations, okay? So you're going to tell me an animal and you're going to tell me how it has changed its body or its parts to survive. You're going to tell me about a plant and you're going to tell me about how it's changed its parts to survive. You just heard 2 examples inside of the video of plants that changed, okay? You saw several examples of ways that animals change, like a butterfly with clear wings so that it blends in. I didn't even know there was a butterfly with clear wings. I'm going to be Googling that later. Okay. I am getting ready to send you into breakout rooms where you are going to do the same thing that you did yesterday, only this time you are studying the polar climate, okay? So you're going to read a text with partner, and you are going to answer questions about a video. So on the text, I should see highlighted evidence, okay, of what you have found that helps plants and animals survive. And then on the slide with the video, I'm going to see typed answers to those questions, okay? Remember, what you and your partner do not complete will become independent work, okay? So you're going to need to make sure that you and your partner are focused so that you do not have to do more work alone later on, okay? All right, let me get ready to send you in those. All right, you are now getting ready to take your break for only 10 minutes, and then you're going to come back to work. Here is your independent work, okay? This is your directions for your independent work.
On your own today, you get it's going to look like yesterday's on slide 8 and 9. Those slides look a lot like what you did yesterday. The first one, slide 8, looks like it looks the same, but this time it's going to be all about life in the tropics. You're going to list to the left box. You're going to be putting in there 3 types of plants that grow there. And in the right box, you're going to be listing 3 animals that live there that you learned about from your reading or from the Brain Pop video. And then below in the box, in the blue box, you're going to describe how the climate and the physical characteristics of that climate zone affect that life that lives there, both the vegetation and animal life.
All right, so just like yesterday, tell me the names of the plants and animals. Remember, that's the kindergarten part of the work, okay? That's the kindergarten part. The 3rd grade part is describing how that affects their life, okay? You're going to do that for tropical. You're going to do that for Arctic. And then as always, you've got your success criteria to tell me how you're doing, okay? That is your work.